What's up, guys? Welcome back to IAM Real Estate. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to calculate your profit on a flip, okay? We're just going to very simply call this flip calculation, okay? This shouldn't be a long video. It's very simple. This is a question that I get asked pretty often from people who are thinking about flipping, or people who are like, oh, that's a nice property, maybe I want to flip it. You know, somebody newer. This is not something that you see from a traditional, somebody who flips 3, 4, 5 houses a year, because they already have this down pat. But if you're new to it, or if you're curious on how to do the calculation, this is going to help you, okay? I'm going to make it super simple. The calculation I do is not that deep. It's not that difficult. It's simple. Addition, subtraction, very easy, okay? So the first thing you need to know is, all right, you have your house. You're like, you know what? I'm thinking about flipping this house. What's the purchase amount? So your purchase on the house is going to be, let's call it $100,000. Okay? I'm going to use simple numbers. Again, I just want to make this quick so you guys understand. All right? Your purchase amount is going to be $100,000, all right? Now you have to say, all right, what's going to be my rehab budget? All right, well, my rehab budget, just off the top of my head, kind of looking at the things that need to be done, we're going to estimate $120,000. Okay? Rehab. Now, I would like to make a comment right here. When you are doing your calculation, it's very likely that you haven't had all your contractors come through yet. So I always recommend kind of play it on the high end. It could be done for 100, maybe it could be done for 100, but play it on the high end. You want to play conservative, because if you can make more money at the end, it's better, all right? So we're going to call it 120 just because we're looking at the plumbing, the roof, the siding, all that good stuff, right? So it's going to cost us about 120 to rehab. Now, what is my ARV? Looking at the comps in the area, thinking about, all right, I could really put this into it and this into it. All right, cool. Our ARV is going to be $300,000. All right. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, ARV is just after repair value. After repair value means after everything's been fixed. That's all it is. Okay, so after all the work is done and you're relisting it, what is the list price? All right, so let's say we plan on listing it for $300,000 when we're done with it. Let's get to our calculation. Let's figure out how much we could potentially make on this house, okay? So, first thing you need to start off with, I don't want to use green because we did green there. First thing you need to start off with is your ARV. We said that our ARV is going to be $300,000, right? 300K, all right? Sounds good. The first thing you have to subtract is you have to subtract your agency fees, because your agency fees come from this initial amount, okay? They're not gonna come after the purchase and all. It has to come first, all right? Because when you sell, that's gonna be the first thing that's taken out is your agency fees, all right? So your agency fee is traditionally gonna be 5%. Speak with your agent, speak with your local agent, speak with whoever you purchase this property with. See what maybe they'll give you a discount. Maybe you get it at 4% or 3%. But traditionally they're going to charge you 5% because they're going to take their fee, and they're also going to give the buyer's agent their fee. So I always say minus 5%. 5% on $300,000 is going to be $15K if I'm correct. I think I'm correct. So after you've taken away your agency fee, next you're going to take away your purchase price. Okay. All right, what did we pay for the house? We paid $100,000. Next, we have to take our rehab amount. Now again, we're doing this before all the contractors come in and before we get all our numbers. We're projecting it's going to cost us $120. So we're saying, all right, that's going to cost me about $120 to rehab the property. All right, cool. The next thing you're going to kind of put in there, I call this like extra or like miscellaneous. We'll put extra. All right. You want to kind of be prepared for anything unexpected, all right? You have to keep in mind that if you use hard money on this, you're probably going to have to be paying towards that loan. You have to keep in mind that after the electrical is updated, you're going to have to pay to have the lights on so they could paint, things like that. So I'm going to say, let's call this $10,000 just for this example, okay? We're going to say this is $10,000. Oh, my goodness, I put 100. I'm very sorry, guys. Our extras, our miscellaneous, just to prepare ourselves. Again, this may not be something that comes across. It may not be 10,000. But again, you always would rather play with the higher numbers on this end, because if you make more money later, that's great, all right? This is also probably going to include your attorney fees. So, again, that's where we are. So, we're going to simply go through this math. 300K minus $15,000, that's going to give me $285, minus 100, that's going to give me $185, minus 120, that's going to give me $65, right? Yep. And then minus $10,000, that is going to make me $55,000. Okay, so very, very quickly, I might have went through that kind of fast, so let me just kind of put it over here to the side in a different color. 300,000 minus 15,000, that's going to give us 285, minus 100,000, that's going to give us 185, minus 120, that is going to give us 65, minus 10 is going to give us 55. All right, so that's where we come up with our number. Again, this is a quick calculation. After doing this calculation, you have to kind of ask yourself, all right, is this a 1 month project? Is this a 2 month project? Is this a 6 month project? Are you okay with making the 55 G's in 2 months, in 6 months, in a year? That's on you. That's a conversation that you need to have with yourself, okay? Some people are good and like, hey, listen, I can make 65 G's in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Let's run with it. Some people like to see a little bit more profit because there's a lot of work being done into this, okay, guys? The other piece about this that I would also say is when you're doing your extras, miscellaneous, whatever you guys want to call it, some people call it miscellaneous, I would also say if you're dealing with a longer term project, if you're like, this is going to be a 3 month project, this may be kind of high, okay? And if you're dealing with a long term project, this might not be high enough. If you're going into a project and you're like, this is going to take me about a year to get done, this might need to be like 30,000, okay? And that number changes. So you got to kind of keep that in perspective. Think about the timing of things. Also remember that this calculation is being done right when you're at the house and you're kind of thinking about, all right, do I really want to pursue this, right? So you might actually have somebody, the contractors come in, the contractor like, well, we can do it for 80, we can do it for 100, save you a little bit of money, all right? But the reason I rather put the 120, this is super important. Please, if there's anything you guys get out of this video, the reason I put the 120 is because, hey, if you're prepared to spend 120 and make 55, if you end up spending 100 on your rehab and you turn around and you're like, I didn't make 55, I made 75, that's 20,000 extra you make. Okay, that's always what I tell people. Always play it safe. Always give yourself, all right, what's worst case scenario? Worst case scenario here we're thinking is going to be about $55,000. This is a quick calculation. This is not super deep. This is not super difficult. This is for somebody new who's thinking about getting into it and being like, all right, you know, this is kind of what we're thinking. If you do have the opportunity, and for somebody who's more experienced, when you have the opportunity, you might break this down a little bit, and instead of saying rehab budget 120, you might say plumbing, okay, electrical, cosmetic, okay, and you guys might break it down that way. I'm just breaking it down this way because it all goes into the rehab budget. All right, guys, super, super simple. If you guys have any comments on this, questions on this, you agree, if you disagree, anything, please leave it in the comment section, guys. That's so important to me. It's so important to get the feedback. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe so you guys don't miss anything going forward. Thank you so much for watching the video. See you guys again soon.